right, you guys, completely factoring an expression using an area model, or as we like to call it, the X box. So I'm going to go ahead. There is a kind of an easier way to do this one, but I'm not going to tell you right now. Ask me if you want to, but I don't want to get you confused with anything. So if you're going over this video and you want to know this, remember to ask me in class. So we have our area model, we have our X. We're going to put the 3x squared here. We're going to put the 6 diagonals. So these both go in our area model. The problem is I have 2 empty boxes. I need to split up 9x into 2 different numbers. In order to figure out what those numbers are, I know they have to add up to be 9. I also know they need to multiply together to be 18. And I know that because I know that the diagonals in my area model, sorry guys, I thought I grabbed that yellow. I know that the diagonals in my area model will multiply to be the same thing. And here, my coefficients are 3 and 6. That's 18. So the 2 numbers I'm looking for, can you figure them out? It's easy to want to say 9 and 2 because you see that 9. But if it's 9 and 2, that's going to add up to be 11. So in this case, it is 2 numbers that multiply together to be 18 and add up to be 9 are 6 and 3. And everything's positive here. So, and don't forget these really have an x, right? Because what we're doing is we're splitting 9x up into be 2 different numbers. So we're going to call it 9x and, oops, sorry. I said 9, but I meant 6. 6x and 3x because those add up to be 9x. And then it doesn't matter where you start, right? So I'm going to start with these 2 6's because they have a 6 in common. So I'm going to pull that out. And I know 6 times x is 6x. And I know 6 times 1 is 6. And I know 1 times 3x must be 3x. And I can check myself with this last one. Is 3x times x 3x squared? It is. So I have factored it to be 3x plus 6 times x plus 1. But remember, what we are working on is factoring completely. And the thing is, I know I haven't factored this completely because 3 and 6 have something in common. They have a 3 in common, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor that out. Factoring is the same as dividing in this case. So I'm going to take my 3, I'm going to put it on the outside, and 3 divided by 3, 3x divided by 3 is just going to be x, right? And you can check yourself. Is 3 times x, if I was going to distribute it, is 3 times x 3x? It is. Now if I take 6 and I divide it by 3, I get 2. Okay, and check yourself. Divide. 3x times x will give you 3x, and 3x times 2 will give you 6. So I know I've done it correctly. You should always be able to check your work in math. But this other piece, x plus 1, that just stays the same. Okay. Now my expression is factored completely. On the test, you will not get all of the points for correctly factored but not factored completely.